So we have some new findings on universal basic income. This is in Vox. They say, Finland's landmark experiment with basic income, the idea that the government should give citizens a regular infusion of free cash with no strings attached, is showing promising results. After the government chose 2,000 unemployed citizens at random and gave them checks of 560 euros, which is $635, every month for 2 years, ending last December, the recipients reported less stress than the control group. That was true even for recipients who felt they were still struggling to make ends meet, according to new findings released by Kela, a Finnish government agency. The recipients also reported that they felt more trust toward other people and social institutions, from political parties to the police to the courts, than they did before getting a basic income. The new findings add to initial results released in February that showed receiving free money made recipients happier without making them any less likely to join the workforce. Although this wasn't everything the Finnish government was hoping for, its stated goal was to boost employment, it still offered an important counter to critics of basic income, who often claim getting free money will induce people to work less. The evidence does not support that. So, as Andrew Yang often points out, there's another long-term experiment going on with universal basic income, and that experiment is in Alaska. You have, I believe that it's tied to oil production in Alaska. Everybody gets a check every month or once a year. I think it's every month. Because the oil is viewed as collectively owned by the people of Alaska, so they get money every month for it, and it's free money, no strings attached. And what's interesting about this idea is it has bipartisan appeal, cross-ideology appeal, because leftists support it so long as the amount of money that you're getting is equal to or more than the current amount of money you'd be getting in standard safety net benefits. And, Republicans like it because Milton Friedman supported it. He was a libertarian. And you could kind of view it as almost like a tax credit. Like, okay, well, this is your money because it's your oil. The people own the oil, it's public lands. So this is just you getting what is already yours. You see what I mean? Like, that's the argument that a Republican governor apparently made when they implemented this in Alaska was, hey, it's your money. Do you want the government to have it and have it away from you, or do you want to have your money? And people obviously said, we'll take the money. So it's got cross-ideology appeal. Now, again, some people on the left have recently grown against it, but it's for really bizarre reasons I can't wrap my head around. It's almost like the only point they're making is, it was originally a right-wing idea. But that's not necessarily an argument against, why don't you support it? That's not enough to say, I don't support it because of that. No, well, and then? Is there an and then there, or are you just... by definition, because it's technically originally a right-wing idea, I'm against it. I would understand opposing it if the idea was, hey, scrap the entire social safety net and give people a UBI, and that amount of money that they're getting for a UBI is less than what they would have been receiving in social safety net benefits. Then I totally get opposition to it, and I would join the opposition to it. And if I'm not mistaken, that was probably what Milton Friedman supported. He wanted to get rid of the entire social safety net and then replace it with just a flat UBI payment, and the UBI payment would be net less than what you were receiving in safety net benefits, so it's a net cut in benefits, which of course the left is going to oppose that. But that's not what Andrew Yang is talking about. That's not what other lefties are talking about. Lefties are talking about either keeping the social safety net as is and then adding the UBI on top of it, or they're talking about, yeah, you can get rid of some of the safety net programs, but you have to give equal to or more in a UBI payment, which again would mean it's a lefty idea too. So it's got, it's got cross-partisan appeal, and it makes sense that it does because it's reasonable. Now, Andrew Yang, and he's running on this issue in the Democratic primary, he frames it as the freedom dividend because he's saying we're going to chain it to technology, we're going to chain it to Silicon Valley, and how we're moving towards AI now, and you're going to have machines doing the work for you, and so that's what it's chained to. It's not like free money based off nothing. It's connected to the productivity of that industry. So that makes sense. But me personally, I actually like the framing of Social Security for all better. Because Social Security overwhelmingly polls popular. People love Social Security. And in the same way that the left at a certain point changed the framing on single-payer healthcare, like nationalized healthcare, they don't say that. We say Medicare for all. Because Medicare is already popular, just expand it to everybody. Okay. You do the same with UBI. Social Security goes to older folks. Why not have Social Security for all? It's like an allowance for everybody. again, I think that'll be massively popular. And again, I think the core argument against it that's made from the right, from certain factions of the right, is this is going to disincentivize work. And what this study showed is that most definitely is not true. What happened in Alaska, same thing. That it's not true. If you get a little bit of money to make ends meet and survive, the overwhelming majority of people don't go, I'm good, bruh. I'm just going to chill like this right here. No, people don't do that. The overwhelming majority of people, maybe a tiny number of people will do that, but the overwhelming majority of people are going to say, okay, but I still want to be active and I still want to have meaning in my life and feel like I'm being productive and feel like I'm living a life that's worth living as opposed to rotting away and just getting a check. So the core objection to it falls flat. And I think that's important to point that out. So there you have it. Andrew Yang is onto something. I hope other Democratic candidates run on this issue as well, because it shouldn't be a fringe issue. It should be right up there with the other things that we're talking about, because I think it's just as important.